This is the second podcast, and I just found an app through which I could technically vlog to you on a daily basis, and I'm trying to do so because I feel there's a lot to catch up. So one of the things that I've never talked about on my channel is lucid dreaming supplements. And a lot of other YouTubers talk about that, of course, because that's connected to companies that make a lot of money, and there's some good opportunity if you have a broad enough following to monetize on that and to build partnerships with these companies. One of the YouTubers that did a review about that recently was Giz Edwards, who I actually really like as a YouTuber. Especially in the beginning, I followed him a lot, not so much lately. And the supplement that he tested, I believe it's Dreamleaf, but if not, I'll link you in the description below. I tested that supplement myself just to see how it is and to give you guys a review about it. And honestly, I just want to recommend things that I really stand behind and, not just to recommend stuff. I've tried it, I think 2 or 3 nights, and I will say, yes, I had lucid dreams with that supplement. But I also realized that I don't think it was from the supplement itself. It was literally the sheer expectation of having a lucid dream. So that supplement that they sell, it works like this. At night, when you go to bed, you take one pill. I believe it's the blue pill. And that's supposed to help you with sleeping. So first of all, I don't really need this because I know I can fall asleep after a long day. I'm pretty damn tired. So that's the first part of that pill, and then you're supposed to sleep 6 hours, and then you're supposed to put an alarm clock. And after 6 hours, when technically most of your deep sleep should be done and your interesting REM cycle start, you wake yourself up with an alarm clock, and then you're supposed to take the red pill, kind of like in Matrix, Yeah. And that red pill is supposed to have stuff in there which triggers lucid dreams. I'll have to look it up, and you guys, you should also look it up for yourself. You shouldn't trust anything that I'm saying. You should always do your own research. I cannot say that enough because I've had to learn it the hard way, especially when it comes to medicine, doctors, dentists. My personal experience with that is don't trust anybody, just rely on your own research. Try it or research it in advance and then try it, because people are either uneducated, stupid, or they're just in for the profit. That's my personal opinion on this whole medicine, supplement, or even like pharmaceutical medicine topic. Yeah, I have a big disgust and hate actually for medicine practitioners, specifically in the US, but honestly it's not even that different in Germany. But that's a whole nother topic. I probably should talk about that maybe in the next podcast. So back to the lucid dreaming supplements. I felt I had lucid dreams, but it was really the excitement about taking a supplement that's promising you to have a lucid dream. And then we have a factor too, which is you wake yourself up after 6 hours. If you guys followed other channels who did a better job in explaining lucid dreaming techniques than I did, then you would know there's also a technique that literally triggers that, or that works with that, and that's the wake back to bed technique. And the wake back to the wake back to back oh my goodness, the wake back to bed technique works like that. You go to sleep, you wait 6 hours, and you put an alarm clock. You are up for a little bit of time, you go get a glass of water, you walk around in the house, and then, only then, you go back. And people usually have a lucid dream because it's the interruption of sleep, it's the increased intention to have a lucid dream, and it's also at the optimal point in your sleep cycle to have a lucid dream. So that's what this whole technique is basically based on, and that's also what the Lucid Dreaming Leaf company is based on. Obviously, they're gonna have some other ingredients in there, and I remember Giz Edwards talking about it and kind of mentioning that there's some stuff in there that he would not necessarily recommend taking in the long run. Well, I'm not very good with pharmaceuticals or chemicals. I couldn't talk like on that behalf, but it seemed like he did some research and he didn't recommend it for the long run. I personally also don't recommend taking anything for the long run that you're not familiar with, that's not solely plant-based, and that you absolutely know maybe you took it for years already and it didn't have any side effects. So if you're excited about it, if you want to try it out, you know, maybe it works for you. Everybody is different. I don't think it's okay to say, oh wow, this is the solution. This must work for everybody. I think everybody's different. I know a lot of people that have lucid dreams through the wake back to bed technique, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I had maybe 5 lucid dreams my whole life like that. But, you know, thousands of lucid dreams through DALT, the dream-induced lucid dreaming technique. So it really comes down to your personality, whether it fits with your lifestyle to literally wake yourself up in the middle of the night. I wouldn't want to. And that's just like with fitness, right? If you choose, like if you want to lose weight and you choose a certain diet and a certain fitness plan that does not fit with what you like, or that is not fun for you, or you have to suffer through it, for example, you're starving yourself through it and you don't like starving, or I don't know, it requires weightlifting and you hate weightlifting, guess what? Like for your long-term goal, you wanted to achieve it with a strategy that's basically annoying to you. That's not going to allow you to be continuous. Not being continuous is not going to give you the results, and hence the whole strategy was wrong in the first place. It might have worked for someone else, but not for you. So you need to find something that's doable for your lifestyle. If you have a spouse and he or she is sleeping next to you, how do you want to wake yourself up in the middle of the night without also waking up her? You know, those are all things to think about. And but if you're a crazy guinea pig like me or Tim Ferriss, people who like to do self-experimentation and try things and then maybe share it with their subscribers or whoever to help them, so they don't have to go through the pain, feel free to test it and make a video and link me in it, or just write in the comments about your personal experience. I would be very interested to see more data points. Honestly, I haven't given it so many shots because simply it wasn't on my first priority list. I'll be very honest with you. So it's totally possible that it might have some mind-blowing effects. I just haven't tried it enough. I would have to have taken it for many more days, which I didn't, because simply I don't want to wake myself up after 6 hours. You know, I'm happy that I fall asleep. I had a phase where I woke up in the middle of the night a couple of times or in the early morning, and that just messes with your sleep cycle, and I don't need to do that, and I don't want to do that, especially now excuse me, especially now that I'm actually working out for the first time in my life consistently, sometimes multiple times a week or most of the time. Sleep plays a very, very important role for regeneration of muscle tissue, repairing of cells, inflammation reduction. So any stressor or interruption in that sleep especially the REM cycles, it's going to compromise other functions that your sleep usually fulfills. So it is always a trade-off, and you should personally decide for yourself whether you can take that trade-off, or whether lucid dreaming is the most important for you, and maybe you're in a phase in your life where you live somewhere in the mountains close to a river, and you're just by yourself, like I did in 2015 for 6 months. There was literally nothing there. And I think that was the time of the most intense lucid dreaming. And that was also the time right before I started my Lucid Dreaming YouTube channel. So yeah, it was ultimately quiet. I could sleep so well. It was also very cold. The winters were so cold. I had a big, thick bed, and just lying in bed, and also lying longer in bed and sleeping in, because I was just preparing for a grad school test at the time. It felt so good. It felt like a reset, and I was literally isolated from most of civilization. The only social contact I had was my neighbor in my house, but other than that, it was literally a town with 1,000 inhabitants who preferred to mostly stay in. There was no bars, there was no theater, there was nothing other than the woods. And that's something I find very invigorating for lucid dreaming, when you're camping or you're on holiday and you're also able to relax, not stress so much about the everyday life, and you have new stimuli. Like if you go hiking, you have the new imagery fresh in your brain. You have lots of oxygen when you sleep. When you go camping, I feel that is big time supporting lucid dreaming or just very, very vivid dreams. So if you're just not satisfied with your dream life or your lucid dreaming life, and it seems to be stuck in a dead end, just try to go hiking. Even if it's just for one night, immerse yourself in nature. I don't know if it's a spiritual thing where you disconnect too much from unnecessarily worrying thoughts and the hectic schedules of everyday life, or whether you literally connect with some spirits in nature or Mother Earth, or however you want to call it. I just found that had a significant effect on my lucid dreaming life and my dreaming life, and I can highly, highly, highly recommend you do that. Anyways, this is the end of this podcast number 2. Again, very sorry that I'm podcasting literally from my car to work, but I have my better microphone here, and I hope that had a slightly better effect on the podcast quality, and I can promise you the podcast quality will get better, and I might be able to podcast from home, making that time. So it'll be a perfect podcast quality, and you can just listen to it, without being so annoyed about the background noise. I'm very sorry. But hey, I got super fancy effects now. Yeah. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you want to hear in the next podcast, because I plan to do a lot of podcasts. Maybe that's going to be my new thing. And also, follow me in the podcast and Podbeam, okay? Check it out in the description, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Much love, stay lucid, stay aware, stay awesome. Bye-bye.